Welcome back, everybody, to Sloan Cold Facts. I'm your host, Marcus Sloan. As you can see today, it's just me, solo. The first time I've been solo is the very first episode, so a little bit different. No guest tonight. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. It was a crazy week last week here in the H. Man, we had first thing first, we had the McDonald's game. A big deal, the McDonald's All-American game. The top high school players in the country every year, the most prestigious high school all-star game in the country. The McDonald's All-American game was here in Houston at the Toyota Center. My son, Jackson Sloan, excuse me, he's kind of locked into basketball now. He watches it a lot and wants to play and excited about playing. So he wanted to go to the game. He knows some of those kids he watches and sees on YouTube and stuff and on social media. So I took him to the game. It was a big-time experience for me. Obviously, growing up, man, that was one of the things I wanted to do. And I was a nominee. I obviously didn't make the game in 2001, but my son wanted to go to the game and experience it was a really good feeling for me. And shout out to my guy, Eric Bossy, 247. Bossy's been a solid dude for a very long time, man. He took care of me. He got me 2 great seats, and he even brought my son a McDonald's All-American backpack with some T-shirts. So it was something I know he won't forget. I won't ever forget. One of those lifelong memories, man, father-son memories. And I got the Cool Dad Award, obviously, for, getting him hooked up and in the McDonald's game. And, obviously, with the McDonald's game, a lot of guys were in town in Houston, so it was good to see, a bunch of national media and NBA scouts and college coaches, obviously, leading up to the Final Four. And so that was Tuesday. And obviously, Wednesday, then Thursday was the start of the Final Four activities. So if you don't know about Final Four, whatever cities it comes to, there's always parties and mixers and social gatherings and networking events. And so obviously with it being in Houston, a lot of the coaches and people in high school basketball, grassroots basketball, college basketball, they were, they hit me up and like, yo, what we doing? Sloan, we got locked in for Final Four. I'm like, shit, I'm not like a clubber like I used to be. I used to be in the club tough. Shout out to the Euro Tour, man. Every summer we did what we call a Euro Tour, where the guys that played overseas in Europe, we would come back home and have big parties here in the city. So, but man, I'm older. I'm 40 now. I don't club as much. So the guys are trying to get into something, looking for something to do. Leave Final Four weekend starting that Thursday. So I got with a few, party promoters here in the city, and we had a nice little lineup Thursday through Sunday, actually. And I almost died during Final Four. Brand was supposed to be here so we could tell his story, but too bad I'm going to tell it. So, again, my near-death experience during Final Four. So Thursday, from 4 to 6, I had a Rice basketball mixer at 13, James Harden Restaurant. Shout out to my guy, Coach Greg Howell, assistant coach at Rice University. Coach Scott Perry, Van Green, those are my guys over there. They invited me to their basketball mixer on Thursday from 4 to 6. So because of how crazy we knew it would be, Brandon and I decided to get a hotel in the medical center. It's kind of close to the action. That way we would have to commute all the way, back home and back downtown or back to Midtown, back on Washington Avenue where all the clubs and parties would be. So we got a hotel in the medical center, centrally located. It's perfect. So I go on Thursday. I check in. Brand's getting her hair done or something. So I check in. The event is at 13, the restaurant, 4 to 6. So walk in, get a glass of Malbec. They got wings. They got fries there. Chilling, eating, talking, trying to network. Sidebar, I'm a terrible networker. That's one skill I need to work at, because it's like, once we talk about what we got to talk about, we shooting the shit. It's always awkward for me, to network. And be like, hey, I'm Marcus Sloan, I do X, Y, Z. So I got networking. I have to work on that. But anyway, so I'm there. I get there about 5 o'clock, because I know after the Rice mixer, I have a Black Coaches Association dinner from 7 to 9. So I get to the mixer at 5. They got some wings, some sliders. I'm hungry. I get some wings, get some fries. I already had the one glass of Malbec. Boom, I get a second one. So now I'm eating. Now I'm semi-full. Still chatting up with some coaches. So that ends at about 6. So Greg Howell and I go to the other part. I get a couple more drinks, a couple Casamigos, lemonade. But I'm still coherent. I'm great, actually. I'm good. So then 7 to 9 comes to now 7. So by 8 o'clock, the Black Coaches Association, shout out to my guy Poot Jeter, who's a big part of the Black Coaches Association. Man, as a matter of fact, any coaches that watch this, you guys need to get hooked up with the Black Coaches, the BCA. They do a bunch of great stuff, kind of networking situations, and they have tools to help coaches. It was a great seminar here during Final Four, actually, too. But the BCA dinner's next. Excuse me. So now Greg and I, we go to the other part of the restaurant. I got a couple drinks, more drinks, Casamigos. So far it's two glasses of Malbec, 2 Casamigo lemonades. Go to the dinner. I got the chicken and shrimp pasta with broccolini, 1 more glass of Malbec. So now I have 3 Malbecs and the 2 Casamigos. So now I'm feeling good. So now Brand's like, hey, I'm headed to the hotel. So now it's about 9:30-ish. I go back to the hotel. I'm still okay. Brand brings some Crown Apple, some lemonade, and champagne to the room. Y'all know we get it in. So it was her and I. We kicking it, we chilling, get in the room. We gonna get it in. So she gets to the room. She makes me a Crown Apple lemonade. Boom, I hit it. We also have edibles, the THC boys. So now let's backtrack. Brand has been having trouble sleeping. Shit, seems like for the past 2 months. So she took it, we've been trying different things to help her sleep, Tylenol PM, melatonin, edibles. The edible, not so much THC, but the edibles kind of make you relax and chill. And so we found one brand that worked, but of course we don't remember. So about 3 weeks ago, I went and got another brand that had THC. And I asked the guy at the store, like, yo, my wife is having trouble sleeping. I want an edible or a gummy that can help her relax and just chill. He was like, yo, take this one. This will have her like good. I'm like, cool, bet. It's 3 weeks ago now. I get back home, give her that edible. 30 minutes later, she all giggly in the bed, laughing. I'm like, oh, shit, she high. So she giggly, laughing, joking. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, man, yo, you supposed to be getting ready to go to sleep. You all laughing. She's like, So long story short, it's high. It's 35 milligrams THC in the gummy. So the next day, she's out there till about 6 p.m. next day. Right? So, she's smaller than me. So I'm like, it wasn't that bad. Fast forward. I took the Crown Apple lemonade, edible, big edible. We got to go to a party at Thursday night. So now we get dressed. It's about 10:45, 11-ish. We pull up to the spot. They say it's cost $40 to park. We have no cash. Cash only. All right, so we go to the gas station. Now I'm starting to feel it in my face. I'm like, yo, so I'm driving. I tell her, yo, I can't feel my face. Hit her with the yayo, with the Angel Reese boy. Like, yo, I can't feel my face. So I'm like, yo, I can't feel my face. She's like, oh, boy, here you go. So we pull to the gas station. I go out to get cash. As I'm walking out, I start to kind of giggle and laugh a little bit and fucking drop my phone by the front door of the gas station. So she texts me from the car like, yo, get your shit together. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me shake it off. Go to ATM, get the cash out, walk back to the car. Now I can kind of feel it in my legs a little bit. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm okay. I've been here before. So I'm driving. I'm like, baby, this shit is on me. I can't feel my face. I can't feel my feet even. I'm driving. So you need me to pull over and drive? I'm like, no, I'm good. Now remind you, she's a passenger princess supreme. She does not drive. So I'm like, no, I'm straight. About another 30 seconds, I'm like, oh, yeah, it feel like I'm in a spaceship. I'm floating. She's like, pull over. So we pull over. We pull back up to the spot. Now, this has been like 20 minutes, 30 minutes since I've taken the gummy. So at this point, I'm like, oh, no, like it's college coaches in here. Some of my dudes, my colleagues in here, like I'm high. I'm fucked up. I'm out of there. I'm like, nah. So she like, should we go to this party? I'm like, nah, let's go back to the hotel. Cause I know I'm about to be cooked. I can feel it. Yo, by the time I get back, she drives back to the hotel and parks. I cannot walk. She's like, yo, get out, stand by the by the pole in the parking garage. I'm leaning on the pole like, yo, baby, I can't walk. You got to carry me. Hey, yo, I'm 6'8", 270. There's no way she's like, hey, you got to walk. Your big ass got to walk us. I can't carry you. So, like, we go back to the room. I mean, so next week when she'll come, she'll give you the full breakdown. But long story short, I had a panic attack from the edible. Like, a wild panic attack. Like, we had to call it. The ambulance had to call 911. They came to the room, gave me an EKG, like did the blood pressure, boy. Like I'm in the room tripping. Like, yo, I'm telling her I'm sorry. I'm calling the kid's name. Like, tell Riley Lowe Jackson I love him. I love you. I'm sorry, but I'm cooked. Brands, I was speaking in tongues. I was singing. I'm fried. Like a full blown panic attack. And so it was late. And so I guess I was tired, but every time I was like kind of doze off or close my eyes, like I thought I was going to die. I was like, no, like, so I would like doze off me like, no, I don't want to die. I got to stay up. She's like, babe, yeah, you got to calm down. And she was fantastic throughout all this. She kept her composure. I threw up in the sink. It was, when she here next week, it was chaotic. And I thought I was finished. That was my first ever panic attack. I was like, damn, man, I'm about to die from an edible. Shit is crazy. Like, who dies from an edible? Like, I really thought I was like going to check out. She's like, you want me to call your mom? I was like, no, don't call her. Just when I die, just tell her it was food poisoning. I was like, don't call her. But so, yeah, I had a full-blown panic attack Thursday night, the first night of Final Four. So she ended up, our friends came, they ended up brought some melatonin, and I took that, and I finally went to sleep. And I woke up the next day, I felt it for sure. And so, like, it's other events going on, it's other mixers Friday. So long story short, I ended up coming off that high probably like Saturday afternoon. But mind you, it's a clip I put out in a video and a picture I put out on social media. Friday I had a Houston versus Dallas All-Star game. Shout out to my guy Jabari Johnson and Dallas Heads Up Foundation put together, Houston versus Dallas All-Star game, man. And at the game, it's a picture. Like, excuse me, I'm out of there. I'm in outer space. I have no idea where I am. From that freaking the night before, I didn't get much sleep. It was a wild time, man. Very crazy time. But yeah, man. So that was the first night, and so me. Typical Marcus Sloan, fashion. I also, besides the parties and events I had the Houston versus Dallas All-Star game, Houston versus Dallas All-Star game that I spoke about. Plus, I had an unsigned senior event on Sunday in the midst of all this stuff. So Friday, man, we had our Houston versus Dallas game. It was good, man. We had some of the top players in Houston and Dallas, guys like JoJo Tugler committed to U of H, and Tyshawn Archie committed to James Madison, and Jalen Bernard and from Houston, and we had they had some good players from Dallas. Justin McBride coming to Oklahoma State from Dallas, and again the head coach at Lancaster High School was the head coach of the Dallas team. I had my guy Chris Hines coaching the Houston team, and so it was a solid turnout. I should have planned it out a little bit better, a little bit more advanced, but with all the stuff I have going on with tournaments, man, I didn't do a great job. But we had a really good turnout crowd wise, and the kids played really hard. Houston ended up win that thing by 20. So shout out to those kids, man. That H-Town kids got it done. Dallas had beaten the Houston kids 2 previous games. So it was a big deal for the Houston kids to win it. So that was Friday night. Excuse me. So mind you, Friday during this backup. Friday during the day, Final Four. I went to my guy Rossi Karen and what's my guy out of Atlanta? From Atlanta, C. Will. They had a mixer Friday, like afternoon, Friday evening. And so I went to that, still a little bit out of it a little bit, but want to show my support. Didn't drink. Just sat there, mingled, talked a little bit, drank some water, ate some fries, kind of trying to get my legs back. Then I went to the All-Star game. And then Friday night, we went to we had another party at the 80 Andre Johnson 80 Sports Bar. It was a good look, man. A lot of coaches came, a lot of my guys came. We had a good time. And even then, I just kind of sipped a little bit on a little brown, a little Crown Apple. Not too crazy. No mixed drink, just sip. So Friday, that was good. Friday night, I had a decent night's sleep. Saturday, boom. Wake up. The Black Coach Association, BCA, they had their summit at our hotel, actually. So I enjoyed that. I had a day party that Saturday at 5015. Shout out to my guy, Steve Rogers. Now, by Saturday, about 4 or 5 o'clock kind of wore off. So we're at 5015, had a good time, man. More drinks. Shout out to my guy, Corey Santee and Clyde Jackson. Everybody came through. Christian Big, all my guys came through. We had a good time. During the day party Saturday at night, we ended up going to Lumen. It was packed out. I got Tavares White, show love. Gave us a section in bottles. It was crazy. And then Sunday, so Saturday night, again, crazy weekend Final Four. Saturday night, after the Club Lumen. So remember, I had a day party at 5015, night party at Lumen. Y'all saw the flyers. I was fucking everywhere. It was flyers everywhere. We had parties everywhere. Brand wanted to leave early. We were still kind of tired from the episode on Thursday night, the panic attack. So we leave about 1:45. She's hungry. We go to a food truck, Third Ward, wait about 20 minutes on the food. We get back to the room about 2:30. I couldn't sleep till about 3:30. This was Saturday night. Now, my unsigned senior event started at 9 a.m. at Yates High School the next day. I did not have the jerseys. So I go to sleep at 3:30 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. I pack up all my stuff because we check out Sunday. Brand's going to stay there. So I grab all my stuff, put all my toiletries, my contacts. They're in the case, not in my eyes. Put it in the case, put it in my toiletry bag, jump in the car. It's pitch black. I'm driving. I hit the first light like, damn, it's blurry as hell, bro. Like, I'm thinking I'm just early. I'm just tired. I jump on the freeway, 288. Yo, it's pitch black. It's blurry as hell. I forgot to put my contacts in. I'm 30 minutes. I got to drive 30 minutes on the freeway. No contacts. Yo, it's 6:30 in the morning. It's pitch black. I cannot see anything really. I'm just driving the middle lane going 70, praying like, damn, Lord, you spared me on Thursday with the panic attack. Please get me to my house so I can put my contacts in. Grace of God, made it home, put the contacts in, got the jerseys, put them in the system, got the schedule, printed that out. By 8 o'clock, I leave my house at 8:15, get to Yates about 8, high school by 8:30, camp from 9 to 2. I got a day party at Chapman and Kirby, another spot on Sunday, the last hurrah, from like 4 to 10. So we get there about 4:45, 4:30, have a good time, man. My guy D. Ewan and saw all my guys, Regis and my guy Chris Jordan. There was so many coaches here, Reggie Freeman and Andre Baird. There was so many dudes from across the country, man. We all had a good time at Chapman and Kirby. Shout out to my guy, D. Scotty. He took care of me. My guy, Kurt. They promote for Chapman and Kirby on Sunday. We had a good time, man. That kind of ended our Final Four. So very, very crazy Final Four. Two near-death experiences, but really one with the panic attack. Brand saved me. She was a soldier, but we'll talk about that next week. Speaking of Final Four, start with the fellas. A little less drama than ladies. San Diego State, UConn National Championship game, man. Young fella, Jayla D, Houston, Texas. San Diego State reserve, 4-man, coming back home to Houston for the Final Four. His team got the championship game. They lost to UConn in the championship, man. And UConn, they were fantastic all year. My guy, Kimani Young, assistant coach at UConn. New Yorker. Shout out to him, man. they ended up winning that thing for UConn in the city, man. So, it was a good look. And then on the ladies' side of it, we had LSU. Everybody's talking about how good and tough Caitlin Clark is, and she was a monster, dog. Like, hey, listen, you cannot take anything away from her this season. I know there's a lot of shit this past week on social media and this week about her and somewhere, but she's a player, bro, like a real player, and she put on the whole year. And so in the women's semifinal, they beat the number 1 team in the country, South Carolina, coached by Dawn Staley. And South Carolina got a whip, Aaliyah Boston. They got a super good team. But Caitlin Clark and Iowa, they beat them, and she had a 40 ball. Like, she did her thing. And so now, with Caitlin Clark, man, she lit on the court. She got antics. Like, she'll talk shit and she'll, be demonstrative and, be passionate. And some people don't like it. Some in the mainstream media, they call it passion, right? But then on the flip side, you got this LSU team, Alexis Morris and Angel Reese, and they kind of label them as, they're doing too much, a little ghetto, a little showboat. And you guys seen on your timeline all week about Angel Reese. And so, going into the game, there was a lot of drama already leading up to the game. And so, man, one thing also, too, about Angel Reese, she's a hooper, too, now. Like, big numbers all year, like 23 and 15 a game for LSU. In the SEC, she's a monster also, first-team All-American, right? So, like, she got a right to pop her shit, too. And she does a lot. And so, leading up to that game, it was kind of like, it was some talk about, who would come out on top and who was talking shit and, like, the kind of contrasting styles, even the social media. Their pregame, Iowa pregame is, they listen to musicals and shit, high school musicals, and LSU listen to Boosie, before the game. They jamming Boosie Boo at LSU, but Iowa jamming high school musicals. It was kind of contrasting styles, right? Iowa's all-white team. LSU predominantly black, right? So that was kind of some talking points before the game. And during the game, LSU, they were blasting Iowa, right? So Angel, she did a little ring thing and I can't feel my face thing and kind of just talking shit back. And she got a lot of backlash from that, which was unfortunate because she shouldn't have, right? And the one thing, man, I always say is if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And, man, again, you talking about 2 really good players in Angel and Caitlin, but when it comes to being competitive, when it comes to, when people don't understand, when you're in that arena and, when you're on that floor and you're playing against other great players and other players, your caliber, you get turned up if you're a real competitor, right? And so you may see some shit they do and you may mock it or you may puff your chest out or you may have to let them know, I'm him, I'm her. I'm a player too. You got to respect me. And I think that's all Angel and LSU wanted was we want some respect too. We good players too. And I think they proved it by winning the national championship game. And I think that game was one of the most viewed games or maybe the most watched women's game ever, if I'm not mistaken. Or if it wasn't the number 1, it was definitely top 5 watched women's college basketball games ever. So, again, man, shout out to Iowa, shout out to LSU. Win a national championship, getting that dub, and Jill Biden, she fumbled, was saying that Iowa should visit the White House too, and it's that's never happened. We don't do that, right? So, it's one of those things this week, like I said, it was all over your timelines, all over our timelines, where the whole LSU thing and the backlash of Angel Reese. And I love Angel Reese. It's when I look at her, I see my 2 daughters, right? You can be tall, you can be strong, you can be proud, you can be boastful, you can be cocky, you can be confident, right? Those are things I want my girls to be. So when my girls watch her or when they see her, I want them to understand I can be like that. And I think Angel Reese is a hell of a role model. I think she has so many little girls looking up to her, watching her, wanting to be like her, wanting to mimic her when they play. And there's nothing wrong with playing with passion and playing with enthusiasm and loving the game of basketball. I think now that's some of the criticism we give kids, they don't love the game. Or do they really love basketball? Or do they just love the perks of playing basketball? Right? And I think Angel Reese is a beautiful example of when someone loves the game, who's passionate about it, who's passionate about her abilities, who's confident in herself. And we want young girls to be confident, especially young black girls. I'm an advocate. Shit, my shirt, invest in women, pay women, hire women. Real talk, like it's something I live by. Obviously, with 2 daughters, again, like I want them to be confident. I want them to know like they can do anything they put their mind to if they work at it. And there's nothing wrong with being bashful, being boastful, or being proudful or pride of what you do, right? Like, if you're a player, if you work hard at something, like there's nothing wrong with like, you know, letting people know, hey, like I'm that girl, I'm that dude. And so, big shout out to Angel Reese. I'm a big fan. I know she's got a lot more fans this week, actually, from, you know, just from her play, from who she is. And so I really respect her, honestly, man. And again, I think she's a big time role model. Speaking of college basketball, the NCAA transfer portal. It's time, man. Like, I call it Portal Combat, like the old game Mortal Kombat. Right now, man, like the NCAA transfer portal, for people who don't know, who never heard of the NCAA transfer portal, is for kids who are in college athletics and they want to obviously transfer to a different school. The process now is you put your name in what they call a portal. And once you go in the portal, you have 60 days to either stay in or come out. 60 days from the national championship final, which was this past Monday. So 60 days from April 3rd or whatever day that was. You can stay in that portal where you want to transfer to a different school or go back to your old school. And so with the NCAA rules, like they're granting kids for the first-time transfers, like you can play right away. You don't have to sit out. I think for 2-time transfers, you might have to sit depending on circumstances. And there's some loopholes in that. But for the most part, you can transfer, go from one school to the next school without sitting out. No penalty. You can play right away. And it's the wild, wild west, literally. Like, these guys are jumping in the portal. And so what I always say is for college basketball coaches, it's extremely, extremely difficult, one, to already coach these kids. They're so sensitive. And again, I'm a parent. My kids are sensitive. Like, I was telling my middle daughter, Logan, hey, clean up your room. I had already told her 3 times before, mind you. So this time I said it more stern. Like, hey, yo, go clean up your room. She's like, why are you yelling? You don't have to yell. I'm like, I'm yelling because I just freaking told you to clean up your room for the 4th time, like, and you hadn't done it yet. That's why I'm yelling. Oh, now you got an attitude. I'm like, yo, listen, I got an attitude because you're not listening. That's why. And so I'm a part of that because I'm like, you know what? Maybe I am yelling. And so parents now, we as parents, like, we are to blame for these kids and their attitudes and how they look at things. And so to coach high school or college basketball now, I applaud these dudes, man. It is rough to coach. The kids are out of control and the parents are even more out of control. Not all, most. And so with this transfer portal deal, man, it's crazy, man. Like, dudes are jumping in this portal for some of the craziest reasons. Like, it's guys that jumped in the portal averaging like 25 minutes a game, like getting numbers, and they want to like jump in the portal and see what's like if the grass is greener. And the other part that's tricking the game off is the NIL, which is the name, image, and likeness. So now, for those who live on a rock, college kids can be paid for their name, image, and likeness. And so most universities, bigger universities anyway, they have what they call a collective, which means it's a group of people or a kind of like a board of people, or it may even be one person who like goes out and raises money through boosters or through companies in the city, in the area, and they give money to the student, and they give money to the collective so the student athletes can be paid. And so certain schools have big NIL packages. I know Texas Tech has a big package. The University of Houston has a big package. Texas has huge NIL. So now the bigger the NIL you have, the more likely you'll be able to recruit kids and recruit the kids in the transfer portal, right? So that's also a big reason for a lot of transfers. Kids jumping in the portal, man. A guy could be at a smaller school like a Sam Houston, average 20 points a game, in a school like Texas Tech will be very interested in him, or any high major school with NIL with more money. So he can go from making maybe $2,000-$3,000 a month at one place to $10,000-$15,000 a month. This is real money. Now, Not for all these kids. I tweeted that. Like a lot of these numbers are false too. So and that's the other thing with this NIL. Parents, if you're watching, kids, young dudes in college, if you're watching, when you talk about NIL bags and everybody getting a bag and how much money dude's getting, don't fall for the okie doke, right? If dude's telling you, yeah, I mean, I'm getting 150, I'm getting 200, make them show you the receipts. Show me the deposits that you get 200. Because these guys are on here throwing out crazy numbers, dudes who are averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds, saying they're getting 200,000. That's impossible. No one's paying $200K or 20 grand a month for guys getting 5 points and 4 rebounds a game. It's not happening. So before you guys make a decision based on what so-and-so is getting at this school, NIL, and I can get that, make sure you do your research. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Make someone show you some statements, a document, a receipt. Because now with this NIL, there's always a paper trail. Make them show you the paper trail. Dude say getting $15,000 a month. Yo, show me one deposit, bro. Show me before I make the decision to leave this one place because you telling me you getting money that you're really not getting. And so I had some tweets early this week, kind of about like the transfer portal and NIL, and like it got a bunch of traction on Twitter, just because, man, for me, like I always want to kind of inform the people and like use my experiences to help people, and also too, man, like the thing we always, like freshmen. When you're a freshman nowadays, especially now with this transfer portal stuff that we're talking about, and also with COVID, the NCAA granted kids an extra year, an extra 2 years, some kids. So some kids are what we call 6-year COVID seniors, meaning they've been in college for 6 years. And it was a guy, DeAndre Williams, who's actually from Houston. He was 27 years old at Memphis. So just think about this. Your 18-year-old, maybe even 17-year-old son trying to compete with a 27-year-old. It's impossible. I remember when I was 27, unless you were a super stud about to be lottery pick, there's no way at 17 you can compete with me, right? And so that's what's going on today in college basketball. You have guys who are 22. You have some 21-year-old freshmen or a 24-year-old senior. And so incoming high school freshmen, like, they don't have a shot. And to be honest, like, that's what happened. That's what's happening now to high school kids. They are at the bottom of the totem pole now because of the COVID seniors and because of this transfer portal. Like, college coaches are going transfer portal, and this is their pecking order recruiting. They're going transfer portal. They're going JUCO, post-grad, and high school kids, right? And so when you are fortunate enough to get a scholarship as a freshman, the one thing I can preach to the college players and their parents is patience, right? Like, I tweeted this. A tip for incoming freshmen: please don't get impatient about playing time. College coaches now have the option of taking a 20 or 21-year-old college transfer with 3 years of eligibility left. Patient and listening to credible people who really understand the climate is vital, right? And like, that's a big word, like someone who's credible. There's a lot of guys out here who just talk. And let me also say this, bro. Just because someone talks on social media, that doesn't mean they have a real platform where they can move the needle. You see guys, that's all they have is a Twitter account. They have no real influence. They have no real platform. They have no real motion. They just have a Twitter or Instagram or even a Facebook account, and that's it. So when you're listening to people about playing time or you're thinking about transferring or trying to make a decision, make sure you listen to someone who is credible, who actually has like some juice, who can move a needle, who can not only make a call, but who a decision maker at the collegiate level will listen to. Say, hey, okay, this guy's credible. I'm going to listen to him about this kid. And as a parent, you got to seek those people out. Like, don't guess. This is not the time to guess, excuse me, for parents who are who are uninformed, right? So, like, if you have a college freshman and he didn't play, hey, be cool, be patient, like, relax, and seek wise counsel. That's super important, man. You got, like, kids jumping the gun. Like, it's kids who don't have any numbers as freshmen trying to, like, make moves, excuse me. And it's like, hey, man, like, you have guys who are in front of you who are older, who are more experienced, who the college coach trusts. And so, for instance, man, like with the college portal, with the transfer portal, these college kids, you got kids, man, who have been in college for maybe 2 or 3 years already. And so for a college coach, most incoming freshmen, they have certain issues. They've never competed at the collegiate level. They never gone through a weight program. They never had a college schedule, meaning going to class, lifting weights, study hall, tutors, extra shots, extra lifting, treatment, practice, going to bed, waking up early again, more work, more treatment. They high school seniors, incoming freshmen, they've never done that, right? So it's always a learning curve. Excuse me. So for a college coach, they have to wait for those kids to adjust and to mature. But now, because of the transfer portal, they have the option of taking a 21-year-old who's been in college 2 years already. He's not homesick. He's already gone through what I just named with going through the college schedule. He's seen a college scouting report, a college in-conference basketball season. He knows what to expect going to play in college basketball, whereas the incoming freshmen, they don't. And bottom line is these coaches, they're trying to keep their job. They're trying to win. And they're trying to win now. Very few coaches have the luxury of being patient enough to wait on certain players. So when you're trying to win, you're making $2-3 million a year, $800,000 a year. You got to keep your job. You have to win. So you want to get with the players who are ready-made guys, basically. And so when you have a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 20-year-old sophomore, junior who's been there, as opposed to a high school player, you're going to take the college kid. And so that's what's happening now, man. And so, people are getting frustrated and they're getting impatient. And I just want parents to just take a step back, relax, chill. Yes, if a coach leaves, okay, cool. There are certain circumstances where you may want to jump in the portal as a freshman. But most of these reasons are just impatience, right? Or like not being informed. And so I think, again, seek wise counsel, kind of understand and listen to people who know what's going on, right? Also, too, like I've been talking to college coaches and kind of just, again, it's my job to be abreast of what's going on, right? So dudes want to be the man. That's also a big reason why dudes jump in the portal. Dudes like, yo, I'm him. I deserve these shots next year. I deserve to be the guy this year. They hold me. I didn't get the minutes I should have. I didn't get the shots I should have. I'm ready to be the man. And so I talked about that too. Like being the man means a lot of different things. Most guys want to be the man until it's time to fucking be the man, right? Yo, when you're the man, you got to be the man every day. You can't talk about it. You can't put it on social media. You can't tweet about it. You can't put on your Instagram story, I'm him and a lion and all of the Lil Baby and Nardo songs. Like, that's not getting your arm, getting a sleeve tat. That's not being the man. Getting your leg tatted up. That's not being the man. Being the man is in your actions. Like, being a man is being at the top of the scouting report and still getting your numbers, still helping your team win, still being productive. That's what being a man is. Every day, in practice, in the weight room, like being a man, right? So, like, dudes want to be the man when they haven't even earned the right to be the man. They haven't worked to be the man. Again, it's cool to say that shit. I want to be the man. I'm the man, dog. Like, I want the ball. I'm him. I'm that dude. Well, have you earned that, bro? Have you put in the work to be the man? Right? Because it's a difference between, I tweet this also, it's a difference between being at the top of the scouting report, like the number 1, number 2, or being in the middle, 5, 6. Even it's a big difference from being number 1 on the scout, the top of the scouting report, number 1 to the 4th option. It's a huge difference. When you're the number 1, when you are the number 1 option on a scouting report, they are game planning to stop you. They know all of your tendencies, your strengths and your weaknesses. Like, you're game planned against. You're schemed against. This was a high level, not even this was college basketball is about. If you're at the top of the scouting report, if you were the man, right? And so you have to prepare every day like that. You got to practice that you're going to get schemed against. You got to play like it's something that you got to work at, right? Like, no one just said you're the man or give you that title without earning it. And so I think guys jumping in that portal trying to be the man and like they haven't earned it. And so what happens is when you think you're the man, but you haven't developed the work ethic to be the man, when you go to that new place, to that new school and like, yo, like I'm ready to take my 15 shots. And then you see how difficult it is when you're at the top of the scouting report. When they shut down your favorite move, when they 3-quarter front you on the post, when you can't get the same looks you were getting at the other school because you were the fourth option, and the other team you were playing against, they were putting their best defender on your old number, your teammate who was the number one option. Well, now you get the best defender. Now you get doubled. Now you get tripled. Now you get face guarded. And so if you're not prepared to be the man, if you haven't put in work to be the man, it's going to show. And again, so the thing that you really want, or you think you want, like, you're going to see if you really like that. But if you haven't put in the work, it's not going to happen for sure. So if guys are jumping in that portal because they said, man, like, it's my turn to be the man, make sure you're ready to be the man. Like, make sure you're ready to be the man. Super important. And now, again, college coaches. A lot of these guys are my friends. They're my dudes, man. I talk to these guys every day for a living. And what I've been stressing to them is, yo, even if it hurts, even if you feel you might lose a kid, because you'll fuck around and lose these kids anyway now. They jump in the portal regardless. Like, tell them the truth. Don't lie. Like, college coaches have this stigma of being used car salesmen. Yo, now in this climate, keep it a buck. Keep it a bean. Don't lie to them. Tell them the truth. Like, no matter what it is, hey, yo, you might not be the guy next year. We got some guys coming in. We're going to bring some new guys. You might got to fight for that spot. No, you might not get these 10 shots a game next year. Hey, we might, like, okay, we're looking to go another direction. Like keep it 1,000 with them. Because if you're honest with the players and you don't lie to the players, at the end of the day, when you're transparent, when the shit's in the wash and when it all comes out, you can know, like, yo, like, I kept it real, like, I told the truth, and whether you like it or not, it was the truth. So then the kids can make decisions based on truth, not based on, yeah, we're gonna play you, knowing you bring in some other dudes, or yeah, we gonna give you can at least earn about 15, 20 minutes, knowing you got fifth-year seniors or older kids you're gonna play, right? Like, keep it 1,000 with these kids and with these parents, so that way, like, again, there is no dishonesty in it. And, like, there is no, like, it was nothing, like, hidden. And, like, we all kept it on, again, everything was out in the open. So when people are making decisions, they can make their decisions, both the school and the kids and the parents, they can make their decision based on the truth and not on some shit like, oh, well, you sold us you sold us a bag of goods and you told us it would be this and it wasn't. Right? So, like, keep it 1,000 with them. And one thing too, man, parents compare notes. Kids do too. So if you tell one kid something and that's not the truth, you tell another kid nothing. With the social media and 6 degrees separation, man, these kids, they all know each other at this level. They're gonna talk. And so it's best just keep it 1,000. Be honest, man. It'll be good for all parties for sure. Also too, man, let me say this about Houston, just real quick. I've heard this about other cities too. This is also a tweet from early this week. I always hear Houston is toxic. Oh, Houston is so toxic. It's a toxic city. And people want to put a situation I had with someone else and it's so, like, that was a situation between he and I. It's not toxic. Like, people have to make a choice of what event they want to play in. Yo, you got to make a choice. I won't hold against you. He won't hold against you. It's like choosing bread in a grocery store. So many different companies, so many different breads you could choose from, right? That doesn't make our city toxic no matter what was going on, because kids were still getting scholarships. Even in COVID, even in this climate, the transfer portal climate, the portal combat, we'll have 17 or 18 kids sign Division I scholarships in this 2023 class in Houston. Like, on average, it's only like 25, 26. So we're talking about 7 or 8 less scholarships in what I'm calling the portal combat, when they aren't even really recruiting high school players like that, to still have 18, 17, 18 kids go to Division I. Come on, man. Houston kids are getting recruited still, right? Our city is not toxic. So, like, I'm going to end that narrative here. It's not toxic. people saying stuff on social media. Like I said earlier, just because people have a social media presence or a social media account on Facebook or Twitter, that doesn't mean they have a real platform. Like, you have to understand that. I hear all the time, oh, this city is toxic, or excuse me, that city's toxic. I'm not toxic. Y'all watching and listen to tweets of people who have no juice, who can't move a needle, who can't help you get on a certain level, can't help you get to a certain school, don't have a website, don't have a scout service, had to put together any recruiting material. But they're on the internet talking about a city and saying we're this and that, or this and this, Houston is this, Houston is that, when they have no real platform. Why are you listening to that? If this was any other business, this was on the street, this was in school, no one listen to people with no credibility or have no real platform, who just outside talking, saying it's toxic or saying it's this and that. So, like, let's dare the toxic. Houston is toxic. Kids are still getting scholarships. You look at the NCAA today, there's Houston kids all over the NCAA playing NCAA basketball, all over the country they're playing. We're one of the leading cities in the country with kids playing basketball at the next level. It's not too toxic, right? So, like, I've been wanting to say that for a long time, bro. Like, stop saying that. It's not toxic. Don't listen to the wrong people. Like, don't get caught up in the foolishness. Don't get caught up in the have a plan for your kid and stick to that plan. And again, seek wise counsel. A lot of times too, man, people jumping around listening to this person, that person, that person, that person. Yo, seek wise counsel. Seek credible people. It's important. The city is not toxic. Again, kids are still having scholarships. Kids are still playing at the next level. Just because people are tweeting, and those tweets don't have much weight at all, right? Sorry, it's on my little soapbox. Yeah, man, I've been wanting to say that for a while, man. Like, don't let the city or don't let the quote-unquote toxicity of the city, because it's not toxic. Don't let people say that shit. I have no problem with anybody. Zero. I have no drama. I have no beef. I'm moved past that. I'm a businessman. Now it's just strictly business. Anything I do is business. It's not personal. I hope no one takes it as personal. Everyone else does business in any other avenue in life. Restaurant chains, gas stations, grocery stores, schools, anything in life. Doctors, lawyers, investment bankers. You know how many realtors it is nowadays? You fucking look on Instagram and social media, everybody's a realtor. I'm like, damn, they selling that many houses now? Shit. It's crazy. So me as an event operator of scouting service, like, it's strictly business. It's nothing personal, bro. I have no beef. I have no drama. Y'all know what it is. It's a line there I won't cross, but it's no beef. It's no drama. It's strictly business. I wish everybody success. Anybody you could think of, anybody you thought I had an issue with, I wish them success. I hope everybody wins, but I'm going to win for sure, because for me, it's business, not personal. I have a platform. Again, I always say this too. I'm a Houstonian. What I got from basketball, the things I've learned, I'm applying every day in my life with my family, with my wife, with my kids, with my business. I learned from basketball. I want these same kids in the state of Texas, across the country, in Houston, all over the world. I want them to get the same things I got out of basketball, and I want the game to give them the same things. And I'm a perfect ambassador for it, because I use basketball to change my life. That's what I want these kids to do. So regardless of what y'all hear or what y'all think, that's all. I care about the business of it, and I care about making sure kids got what I got out of the game of basketball. I want these kids to go to the next level and play college basketball and be successful and get out of their environment and get some culture and change their lives, come back and change their parents' lives, and come back and get degrees, own businesses, become lawyers, engineers, so that they can affect their kids and their kids' kids. I said that many times. I only want these kids to get the shit I got out of the game of basketball. That's it. If you got a problem with that, you got a problem with me, that's on you. Sorry. That's a Sloan cold fact. I have no beef. It's no issue. I'm about the business. I want to compete in every level, in every arena, in every way. And I know kids watching me, and I want them to compete too. When I walk in the gym, I want y'all to compete. Y'all say, hey, Sloan compete Anything he does is a competition. These kids see me with my fits and nigga, a flyer, a graphic I got, my website, my business. I'm going to compete. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to do nothing underhanded. I'm not going to try to like get you shut down. Nothing snaky. I'm going to just compete. Because that's how I want the kids to do it. Like, I want the kids to compete. I want you to hear me loud and clear. It's strictly business. That's it. And again, Sloan Cold Facts. That's that on that. Sloan Cold Facts. It's episode, I think, 22. Been rolling with off for a couple weeks because of Final Four. Got kind of crazy. Had some tournaments. Next week, I'll have Brand back, my co-host. A lot of y'all want to see Brandy on the podcast permanently. Everywhere we go, people always say, man, you guys are good on the podcast. Y'all, you guys are great. Y'all got great chemistry. And I keep telling Brand, she's a real star. But she said she's going to come here and change my show, try to take over. She hate my logo. And that's why I kind of just want to have her once a month. Because she try to do too much too fast. And, you got women, some women got they got to pump the brakes. And she one of them. She going to come on. She don't want the wine. She don't want the wine bottle on the table. She don't like the logo. She want to change how we sit. She want to change the name of the show. Just too much. So I got to slow walk her. But, no, she'll be back next week. I'm excited. I'm always excited to have her. She's a real star. Brand is a superstar, whatever she does. She's intelligent, beautiful, great personality. She's funny. She's smart. She's everything. So she's lucky to have me. So we'll have her back next week. She don't like that. We'll have her back next week with Sloan Cold Facts. It's your host, Marcus Sloan. Sign off.